Ahead is the cellar where the Caneth crystal is hidden. You can feel the life-saving heat emanating from the magic crystal Boldar spoke of. But from the shadows approach those who would doom Korthos by destroying it. You have slain the last cultist, thus protecting the Caneth crystal and saving Korthos.
skittering sound beneath the floor sets your nerves on edge. With a final spasm, the last scorpion collapses. It is oppressively dark here, save for a few flickering torches that might provide enough light to fight properly.
Silicon Valley, that part of California where CPUs are designed, startups flourish, and no one can afford to buy a house. But did you ever stop to think about why it's called Silicon Valley? Why exactly does silicon seem to be so universally used for electronics instead of some other material like copper, graphite, or potato? Well, silicon has a number of properties that make it unusual among chemical elements. Right now, scientists know of 118 elements, and of those, only 6 are commonly classified as metalloids, silicon being one of them. These metalloids exhibit metal-like characteristics, but aren't true metals. Usually, they have a silvery, shiny look, like true metals, but instead of being malleable, they're often quite brittle, meaning they can break apart easily. And although they can conduct electricity, like metals, they aren't quite as good at it, which is where the word semiconductor comes from. This semiconductivity is especially important because while obviously computers and other things that use microchips need electricity to run, their whole principle of operation relies on being able to let electricity pass through certain transistors selectively, which you can learn more about in this video. A normal metallic conductor would let electrons through too easily, meaning way too many transistors would light up at once, and your CPU wouldn't be able to process instructions correctly, which is okay if you want your computer to serve as a very expensive paperweight, or a cheap one, I guess, as it were. Which is all fine and good then, Linus, but you still haven't answered the question. Why silicon specifically, instead of some other semiconductor like germanium? Well, although Silicon Valley might be an expensive place to live, actual silicon is quite cheap, and it's also pretty easy to find in the Earth's crust. In fact, silicon is one of the most common elements in the universe. So it's fully possible that spacefaring civilizations in some distant galaxy are using silicon CPUs to play Plants vs. Humans or whatever. Silicon also has other benefits, such as being able to operate well at a wide temperature range, stock coolers, am I right? And it can be easily doped with other chemicals that are necessary for microprocessors to work. For example, it's quite easy to form an insulating layer of silicon dioxide just by sticking silicon into a hot furnace. The tiny transistors in a CPU need insulated areas to further control and direct the flow of electricity with precision, so silicon's versatility makes it a natural choice. But even though silicon has proven to be extremely useful, it is not perfect. Although it's cheap and abundant, there is a trade-off with how quickly it can conduct electricity. Other semiconducting materials can move the electrons around faster, meaning that they could be used to make higher performance processors, albeit at a higher cost. And another limitation of silicon will mean that it will not be the universal material in our processors for too much longer. Transistors keep being made smaller and smaller and smaller in order to make our chips more powerful and more power efficient. But we're getting to the point where silicon can't be made into transistors much smaller than what we have already due to its chemical properties. In fact, Intel has already announced that for its 7nm chips that could be released around 2020, it will be using something other than silicon. To put that in context, 7nm is only about 35 atoms wide. So there you have it. While smaller transistors and faster CPUs may require more exotic materials, there's no doubt that the path to this future of tomorrow was paved with silicon. I mean, quite literally, really, if you think about it. They used to use it in, like, pottery and bricks. They still do use it in bricks, if you count, like, Minecraft. Speaking of bricks, let's say you work as like a freelance bricklayer, or you do on-the-side computer work, or you run a small dance studio out of your garage. Whatever it is that you do as a freelancer or small business owner, it shouldn't be wasting time with complicated accounting software, and that is where FreshBooks comes in. FreshBooks is designed to save you time and help you use the time that you save to make more money or have more of a life. And they've got a whole new platform that's been
I'm gonna run a freaking benchmark for an entire year. Then I'll make another video a year from now explaining what the results were of said benchmark. Why? Well, because we love multi-part videos and making you wait for their conclusion. No, seriously. This time there is a good reason. We've been saying for a long time that balanced airflow, leaning on the side of positive internal pressure, is better than very positive or any form of negative. But we've never done a formal long-term investigation, and to our knowledge, neither has anyone else. So let's fix that. Vertigear's ergonomic S and Plus line gaming chairs make a great addition to any gaming setup. Check them out at the link below. Okay, first we need to actually establish what the different types of internal air pressure are. First, you've got negative air pressure. This is when the majority of the fan power in your case is focused on sucking air out of said case. Like if you had a rear fan, a top-mounted AIO cooler blowing air up, and a single front intake. Then you've got positive air pressure. This is where the majority of your fan power is focused on pulling air into the case. If you flipped around the fans on your radiator from the previous example, it would become positive. And finally, we've got the mystical, balanced, or neutral airflow, where your airflow in and out of the case equal each other. The conventional wisdom goes like so. A negative pressure setup will end up pulling air into the case through small gaps in the chassis that are just unavoidable unless case manufacturers use some type of seal everywhere that two different parts of the case met, like your side panels to the case, for instance. This would completely destroy the usability of the case. Because of air flowing through these inevitable gaps, dust is also sucked in and accumulates throughout your rig, potentially reducing cooling performance, or even causing component failure if left long enough. Easy solution, right? With a positive air pressure setup, you'll be pushing air out of those cracks instead. But if you overdo your positivity, it's going to be really turbulent inside of the case. You might end up creating pockets of hot air that actually harm your cooling efficiency. And besides, no cases that I'm aware of are designed to have an intake on every single fan mount. So perhaps the more balanced approach is the answer. Now, we here at the office have always rooted for balanced airflow, leaning slightly on the positive side of things, because theoretically, and from our anecdotal experience, we found that it's a good balance between cooling performance, overall dust reduction, and actually being able to control the delivery of cool air to the zones in your PC that need it the most, like just under your graphics card and through your CPU cooler. But anecdotal evidence has never been enough for us here, or at least it shouldn't be. So the test today is to build 3 identical computers, one each to represent negative pressure, very positive pressure, and mostly neutral but leaning on the side of positive, since practically speaking, it's impossible to make a perfectly neutral airflow setup. Okay, so I've gathered 3 sets of the same hardware. This is mostly some older stuff that we can actually do without for about a year. I've got 3 Fractal Design R5s, and we're gonna put it all in these different cases, shove it somewhere in the warehouse, and then be good to go. So let's build. So now that that's all done, we were left with Audi, the case that I built, and I had Tyler replicate it twice for Innie and In-Betweenie. Innie has all of the fans blowing in, the 2 in the front blowing this way, the 2 in the top blowing down, and the 1 in the back blowing in as well. Now the 2 in the top blowing down and the 2 in the front blowing in are actually very realistic. The 1 in the back blowing in is a little bit less realistic, but we just wanted to go hardcore with the theme. Audi has all of the fans blowing out. So the 2 in the front are blowing out, the 2 in the top are blowing out, and the 1 in the back is blowing out. And then In-Betweenie is a little bit different. We have the 2 in the front blowing in and 2 in the bottom blowing in, and then 1 in the top blowing out and 1 in the back blowing out. The reason why we did this was because the 2 in the front have to fight with this front panel, which is actually a lot of restriction and can only bring in air through the side, and then it has to go through a filter, a lot of restriction. The bottom has to fight with the fact that it's against the ground and has to go through a filter as well. So we wanted to kind of overpower the amount of air coming in because it had to fight against these elements. And then the air going out was just fan grills, no filters or obstructions or anything like that. So we only had 2 of those fans. A little bit of a different configuration, but should be fine. Now all we have to do is take these 3 computers and shove them way back there. All right, so we're somewhere that you don't normally see in Linus Tech Tips videos. This is behind one of the sets. We got the computers lined up, outie, innie, in-betweeny are all in a row. So after a year, we're gonna check how much dust has accumulated in each setup. I have arranged them in a way that they should have a minimum amount of backwash to each other. They're facing the fuzzy wall, so there's no direct intakes this way because the intakes on the front of the case actually come out of the sides of the case, so they're intaking from this way. And then they're shooting air back out, or in the case of innie, pulling air in from the wooden wall, so that should all be fine. And this is where I'm gonna leave them. So now I guess we just turn them on. That one worked, that one worked, that one worked. And then we wait a year. Braintree is code for easy online payments. If you're building a mobile app and searching for a simple payment solution, check out Braintree. With the V.0 SDK, which is one small snippet of said code, you're all set up in less than 10 minutes, and they have support staff ready to walk you through the process over the phone if you need them. Their code supports Android, iOS, and JavaScript clients, and they have SDKs in 7 different programming languages. They make it easy to offer multiple mobile payment types, including PayPal, Apple Pay, Bitcoin, Venmo, Android Pay, credit cards, and more, all with just one single integration. To learn more, head over to braintreepayments.com/.
Honestly, I'm not even sure where to start with this one today. So, you probably saw our last sponsored video from Lenovo on the Yoga Book. If you didn't, it's right around there. But here we go. Okay, so let's clear some space. Razer Core, you're out. MacBook Pro, you're out. MoneyCat? MoneyCat's in. So Fab2 Pro, what is this thing? It's a phone, it's a tablet, it's a phablet. It's right in the name, so it's got a Snapdragon processor, a static cling screen cover thingamaboober. It's got 64 gigs of storage, it's got AC Wi-Fi, it's got a 4050 milliamp hour battery, it's got a massive 1440 screen, and oh, look at that. Would you look at that? Yeah, would you look at that? It's a headphone jack. Right, but moving around to the back, this is where we get into the really interesting stuff. So right here is a 16 megapixel camera. 16 megapixels, RGB! Which basically just means it's a camera. But no, there's other stuff. So this guy right here is a depth camera. This is a flash. So the flash is normal too. These are the normal parts. Then there's a fisheye camera and a fingerprint. Okay, a lot of phones have those too. Okay, so every other thing back here is unusual. Let's go ahead and get this baby fired up. Wow, that is a really fast fingerprint sensor. It is actually registering them that fast. Discover Tango, an introduction to the Tango experience. Tango. That must be an OLED display. Actually, I can't tell. Oh, crap. IPS. Oh, wow, those are really deep blacks. Whoa, check this out. So the idea is that it uses a combination of the sensors and cameras to figure out spatially where. Why is there like a goat or something in my office?
It's not a deer.
Well, I don't know what it is. Okay, now I'm really confused. These are like wolf, deer, raccoon things. Whoa, look at him go! Oh, he stopped. What a loser. Loser. Wrong. Oh, whoa, that's like a window into the like real world again. Whoa, and we're back to the real world. Okay, so back to the cameras again. Why do they need all these cameras and sensors for Google Tango? Well, they need sensors that are capable of motion tracking, so this is obviously to help the device understand its orientation in physical space. They need multiple cameras that allow Tango to recognize the world around the device by utilizing visual cues. This helps to self-correct for errors in the motion tracking. And it needs the depth sensor that allows Tango-enabled devices, right now this is the only one, of course, to understand the shape of the world around it. So that way you can interact with the world around you in all new ways, utilizing the virtual world created by Tango. So now that we've got that all sorted out, let's go try it, shall we? So the idea is that you trash the castle. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Fantastic. Now what happens? That's it? I only get one shot? I mean, that's okay. I got 3 stars, I guess, but I want to go see it. Check that out. That's what you can't do in Angry Birds. Get in close and inspect the havoc you've caused. Oh my goodness, there's so many dead people in that castle. You just can't see it because you don't have the angle for it, but trust me, there's lots of dead people on the other. It's actually a savagely realistic game. Size matters. Bigger pieces are harder to knock over than smaller ones. All right, I'm too close to the damn island. You're too close to me. Okay, this time I'm going to strategically attack that spot right there, but I'm gonna pull it back harder because I think that was my problem last time. Oh, I'm sitting in the garbage can. This is fine. Everything about what's going on right now is fine. What? Hey, where'd you go? Oh, look at him.
Oh.
There he goes.
Can I pet it?
I actually don't know.
Oh,
Yes, I think so.
Oh, yeah, gotcha.
Whoa, there we go. Oh, yeah, we got a huge dog.
Giant puppy.
His eyes are so soulless and empty. He's coming for us. Okay, so new idea. Let's go on the green screen and try the Dinos Among Us. An experiment in augmented reality from the American Museum of Natural History. Natural. That's not a dino, that's a penguin. Can you stop poking me with the camera? Jeez. Okay, Velociraptor. Oh. That's not nearly as big as I thought it would be.
No. That's what like real raptors are like. They were like turkeys.
Really?
Yeah.
So they're not like Jurassic Park.
Nope.
Oh.
I mean, there is a dinosaur like that, but it wasn't the Velociraptor.
Interesting. You know, I've heard about this whole thing where like there's speculation that dinosaurs were much more closely related to birds and probably had feathers versus being like reptiles with scaly skin like we thought they were when we were kids. Mind you, when I was a kid, we thought Brontosaurus was a thing, so that's how out of touch my generation is. Okay, do something. Oh, can I make it bigger? Velociraptor was a fierce predator. Probably had large wings. Interesting.
Ahead is the cellar where the Canith crystal is hidden. You can feel the life-saving heat emanating from the magic crystal Boldar spoke of. But from the shadows approach those who would doom Korthos by destroying it.
What do you see in terms of the potential future for this? Let us know in the comments below. We will be reading them. So thanks again then to Lenovo for sponsoring this video and for sending us the Fab 2 Pro. If all this augmented reality looked pretty cool to you, you can actually get one of your own. We'll have that linked in the video description. And I think that pretty much wraps it up. Thanks again for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and all that good stuff. I will see you again next time. But maybe in augmented reality.
Love this. Ugh, there's nothing cute about babies.
Yay. I'm glad there's a food portion.
Now it's time to play a video game.
Yay! I love games. Let's do it.
Great.
VR. All right.
So only one of us can play and then the other one just mocks the other one.
VR is not new to me at all. I got some 360 companies and I've created stuff, done stuff. Yeah, so I've had fun with it.
You're gonna play a game called Don't Let Go.
Okay. So we're gonna hold each other?
We're gonna put your pointer fingers on the shift keys while you're in the Oculus, and you have to not let go of the shift keys.
Don't let go of the shift keys.
Now I'm afraid of what's gonna make me want to let go of the shift.
I'm so concerned about my hair and my makeup right now. You have no idea.
Oh my gosh, things have gotten a lot better since Mortal Kombat.
Hi, and thank you for playing my game. If you want to win, don't let go. Ah!
Oh good, I love bees.
Wow! Ah! I feel like I'm allergic to bees all of a sudden. I'm not.
I'm into bee conservation. Bees are important to the environment, guys.
See, this shit don't freak me out because I'm used to this stuff.
Oh my god. Make it stop!
Ah! There's more bugs!
Oh my god, I feel like I'm in a f***ing oh my god, I want to stop! I want to stop! Oh my god, I feel like I'm in a really bad scary movie right now and I don't fucking like it! I want to do this.
And now not as many. They're going away.
Now something terrifying is gonna happen, right?
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Ah! Well, maybe this isn't scary enough for you.
Yeah, it is.
You know, there's a giant spider behind this laptop.
No, I'm not doing it.
I don't see the spider. Yet.
Come on, buddy.
Oh, now it's trying to make me take my hands off this. Sorry, it's not my real hand.
That's very close to my head.
Is the spider like eating me?
Oh, I can hear it going through my skull. Can we? Oh, I need the next scare. This is too much for me.
Okay, I give up. Congratulations. I guess you win.
Thank you.
Well, actually, let me try one more thing.
Oh, great. Thanks a lot, German guy.
Ah! Oh. Oh no, well a spider jumped at my face. You're telling me you'd hold on to a laptop if that shit happened to you?
Yeah! Victory!
Oh, I love this stuff. Absolutely.
That was so scary. Oh my god. I couldn't do the spider.
I still hear the buzzing in my ears right now, and I'm like, what the f was that?
Oh, it was so much fun. It was so immersive. It was too difficult for me because I let go when that spider jumped at my face.
I can't recall doing anything like that before. I like seeing all the things floating in front of me.
I've never experienced anything remotely like that before. I'm still a little bit shaken if you can't tell.
Not to get too geeky, but all VR is inside out. So you have like a 360 camera, like a fisheye, and then you look out from all the directions in terms of video. But where it's going to go is you're going to have from the outside in. When they take video, they actually turn the video into 3D data.
Hey everyone, on the FBE channel, thank you so much for watching Celebs React.
Check out the full half-hour episode on full screen. The link is below.
You can watch all of our previous episodes on the Full Screen app.
I wonder how they're gonna react.
The fate of the universe lies on your shoulders.
What's this? Oh, is this Guardians of the Galaxy?
Guardians of the Galaxy! So excited!
Don't push this button.
Yes.
Because that will set off the bomb immediately and we'll all be dead.
No way. Is this Guardians too?
Ah,
So excited for this!
Now repeat back what I just said.
Alan Groot.
No!
He's so cute.
Baby Groot, he's so freaking cute.
Now that's the button that will kill everyone.
Oh, I can't wait for this.
Try again.
Alan Groot. Alan Groot. He's like, but Groot. Alan Groot.
He's like a Pokemon.
I'm looking forward to this.
Chris Pratt, though. How did he get so hot since Parks and Rec?
This was honestly one of my favorite superhero movies of all time.
Great soundtrack again. Oh yeah, Zoe Saldana.
You thought Green could look so good.
I love his character. My kids are gonna freak out. They've probably already seen his trailer.
Baby Groot. That's a pissed off baby.
Does anybody have any tape out there? I want to put some tape over the death button. Nobody has any tape. Not a single person has tape. I have to do everything. You are wasting a lot.
Oh my gosh.
He's like, this is my atomic bomb now, thank you.
That's a really bad sign.
Yes. I'm really looking forward to this movie.
Volume 2.
If I touch someone, I can feel their feelings.
Oh, this part's funny.
Love.
Yeah, I guess, I feel a general unselfish love for just about everybody.
No, sexual love.
No, I don't.
For her.
No.
Oh.
She just told everyone your deepest, darkest secret.
You're overreacting a little bit.
You must be so embarrassed. Do me! Do me! Do me!
Oh, they're bound to get together.
Oh, I'm so excited. That looked so good.
Marvel never seems to disappoint in the movies, so I have great hopes for this one.
Amazing! That brightened my day. Yes, I can't wait for that. I can't wait for that movie to come out.
Okay, so that was the trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, the sequel to the hugely popular 2014 film Guardians of the Galaxy.
Amazing.
Yes, it was, and it was beautiful.
Did you like the first movie?
I sure as hell did.
I did, very much so.
I've watched the movie several times, and
I'm thoroughly in love with all the characters.
That movie is so fun. It's so colorful. There's so much action.
Groot kind of steals the show, and then to have a little baby Groot in the Volume 2 one is like, so cute.
I love Chris Pratt. I was a huge Parks and Rec fan, still am. It's just feel good. And it's something that, because I have two boys that are 16 and almost 13, we can all watch it together.
Before you saw the movie, were you aware of these characters or not?
Oh, no.
No.
No, I had never heard of Guardians of the Galaxy at all, and I'm assuming it came from comics.
No idea. My kids told me it was from a comic book, and I was like, it was?
I have heard about it. I was never really too familiar. I've heard of Rocket, because I don't know if he was in a video game.
That's what's cool about Marvel's current iteration of superheroes is that we're starting fresh. Most people don't know anything about Doctor Strange or like Black Panther or any of these.
So how does this trailer make the movie look?
It looks pretty good. It makes it look just as good as the first, if not better.
It looks amazing. I hope they didn't put like all the funny parts in it, but I doubt they did.
What looks nice about this one is that it's gonna just progress the relationships of these same characters without having to like jam load it with all these new characters that we have to get to know.
You could have just showed me picture Baby Groot, and I would have been like right there. Or picture Chris Pratt, it would have been great. Sequels often don't live up to the first, but I think they'll do it right.
So the first movie featured a top-selling soundtrack of classic songs from the past, and the trailer here continues that for the franchise. How much of the music and marketing do you think helps make Guardians a success?
I actually think it's the other way around. It gives a new generation the opportunity to appreciate the music.
It played a huge part, honestly. It drew me in, and then once I saw the characters and saw the story unfold, I just was entertained.
I know more people in my generation that bought that soundtrack than any other soundtrack like in movie history.
I was really floored when my 12-year-old at the time was like, Mom, I just downloaded the Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's got so many good songs on it. And I was like, you know, I grew up with like every one of those songs.
The soundtrack was a device and not just out of nowhere. The soundtrack informs his character, his nostalgia for his childhood, and obviously, you know, Volume 1 was the name of that cassette. Now Volume 2, I'm sure, will be the songs that are on that new cassette he got at the end of the first movie are gonna inform the soundtrack here.
And then back to the film itself, it features a lot of returning characters from the original, including all 5 members of the Guardians, but this time it's Baby Groot.
Baby, yes, I love that.
Who was honestly the best part of the first movie, Baby Groot.
Baby Groot seems to be something that a lot of people are excited about. Do you love the idea, or are you not so sure?
I love Baby Groot.
I'll go for it. I mean, you know, like when Goku had to turn into like a kid again, so then you got Kid Goku for a while. So I'm gonna go with Baby Groot.
You can't hate Baby Groot after that dancing scene in the end of Guardians 1.
Just hearing him say Groot as a baby voice is just, it sounds so adorable that you can't help but you think it's funny.
I'm kind of interested to see if he has the same like memories. Like, is it kind of a new character? Is Baby Groot like still Groot on the inside, but just on a smaller scale?
You do have that little fear in the back of your head, is Baby Groot going to be the Jar Jar of Guardians 2? Nobody wants that. But I have very high hopes because in the trailer, absolutely adorable.
And finally, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 continues what feels like a never-ending supply of Marvel movies and TV shows year after year. And we ask this often when we cover Marvel movies, is this too much or do you just want more?
Keep it coming.
As long as it's good. I just want a good movie where I can forget about what just happened.
I'll pretty much see them all. The TV shows, because it's such an investment in time, for the most part, I tend to shy away from them.
We're kind of going through like this renaissance of like these comic book movies. Is it saturated? Yes. Are people probably tired of comic book movies? Yeah, but are they going away anytime soon? No, because they make too much money.
I was a kid my outlet was comics, so now I'm almost forced to see every single one of these because I'm just like, I gotta see this because as a kid, I would have loved to see it.
I do think they've overdone Spider-Man, they've overdone Batman. We've seen enough of it. We don't need any more of that. But if you're gonna have another another franchise like Guardians, or something that maybe everyone's not familiar with, like, like Netflix has got the Luke Cage stuff going on, and that's amazing. It's like, if you can do it well and you can do it right, and it's original story, as original as you can get, then I think it's amazing.
As long as they come with good story, I don't care if they do up to 100. As long as the story is good and the movie still makes me enjoy it, I'm up for it. I want more. It was just a great time to be alive.
Thanks for watching this episode of Adults React.
The primary entrance to the Crimson Foot Hive. The holes and gaps are large enough for the spiders to squeeze through, but much too small for you. Meridia, the home of an Eladrin tribe, was constructed from the ruins of an ancient giant temple. It dominates the entire Vale and is turned into an important hub of commerce.